let's try to find first the perimeter, right? Based on what we learned in the past, or like the past two examples, what is the perimeter of this question, right? So the answer for this one is, the answer is 13. Why? It's because if we're just following the concept, it's always related to each other. We're going to be adding the outside of the triangle, which is 2. We're going to add the other side, which is going to be 6. And we're going to add the last side, which is 5. Okay. The basic thing with this one is sometimes we see too much numbers and then we forget to just utilize what we need, right? So here is when you add 2, you add 5, and you add 6, that will equal to 13 centimeters. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. You don't have to add number 3. Now let's try to cover the last one. Is this where it's going to kind of get a little bit tough, but we're going to cover the area of a triangle. So this is a fun fact about a triangle. You've probably seen it when you're cutting a sandwich, right? Is the area of a triangle is technically it is half the area of the rectangle or square. What does that mean though, right? The area is the rectangle or square. I'm going to explain that, of course. This is going to be at 10 feet. We're going to use the same example we did last time. And it's going to be 6 feet. And of course, our answer from the previous example is this was 60 feet square, right? And we did that together. But what happens when you cut it? Like you cut a chocolate bar or you cut a sandwich. I know a sandwich doesn't look like this, but you know, and you just want to get the triangle, right? The one half of the triangle. What is the value of half of that triangle? If you use that common sense, if you know that an area of a triangle is half the area of a rectangle square, you know that half of 60 is 30 feet squared. And you know that the other half remaining is 30 feet squared as well. This makes sense because when you add 30 plus 30, you equal to 60. Yeah. So if you're just focusing on the area of the triangle, that would just equal to 30 feet. Okay. And why does that make sense? Is because the area formula, is area equals base times height divided by 2. Technically, that's what we just did, right? We found the area, which is base times height, which is 10 times 6. Right? 10 times 6 over 2. 10 times 6 equals to 60 divided by 2, and our area will still equal to 30 feet squared. Okay. Well, that makes sense, right? I gave you a diagram explanation, and I also gave you the formula explanation. Okay, so let's try to see if we can do that in this next question here. Is we'll try to find the area for this question, right? This 3 centimeters and going to be 6. It's going to be 2 centimeters, and it's going to be 5 centimeters. It's not what's 2? What do you mean 2? Huh? Okay. What do you mean 2? The one here, we added 3 doesn't. 3 is not counted. Here 3 won't be needed to add the perimeter because you're just adding all three sides. Yeah. 3 is not required. That's pretty much it. This one here is a different example of the area of a triangle. So here we're going to be using only 2 things here. And once again, we're going to rely on the right angle. Because why? The right angle helps us find the base and the height. So if we're looking at what connects to the right angle, we see 3 and we see the line of 6, right? So technically we don't need a value of 2 here. Is that what you meant? And then here we don't need the value of 5. All we need to do is focus on the right angle and the value, and the 2 sides that are connected to it, which is going to be the base, which is the bottom, and 3 cm will be the height. Okay, and we do that, then that will be the area will equal the base, which is going to equal to 6 times 3 divided by 2, and 6 times 3 is 18. You divide that by 2, that will equal the area will equal to 9 centimeters squared. Okay. Here we go. What is the answer? A lot of you answered 24. That is the correct answer. Once again, if you just want another tutorial, you add the sides of 10, you add the side of 6, and you add the last side, which is 8. So when you add 10 plus 6 plus 8, that will equal the perimeter, which will equal to 24 inches. Okay. So let's try the last one, which is kind of difficult, right? We try to find the area. I'll draw this here a little bit, just so you can save some time when I'm explaining. Okay. So the correct answer for this one is number. It's number 3. Number 3 is the correct answer. Why? Like I said, a lot of students will get confused because the base, they always assume that it was in the bottom. The examples I gave you was kind of very flexible. Sometimes the base was on the top, sometimes it was. So that's where I kind of want to assess you on. So here you have the right angle. The right angle will always be your guide in finding your base and your height, right? So you're going to be using the value of 10 inches and also 5 inches. So when you find the area, your log you already probably know how it is. So the base is, the height is 10, and the height is 5. And you multiply that, you divide that by 2, and that will be equals to 50. Divided by 2 is 25 inches squared. So area equals 25. So I hope that was really helpful.